everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie Colours. Thank you so much for joining me. I am back today with another fun video. This one is called the Colouring Page Playoffs, and I just thought it'd be really fun to go through all of my pages for 2025 and then kind of do a bit of a playoffs where I choose a favourite page from each of the months and then pit them against each other to come up with my top 3. So I'll probably explain more as we go along, but let's dive in. So in January, these are the pages that I coloured. Now, starting with my full book colour along from the cute little book Awake by R.J. Hampson. I had these printed off and I was just colouring them with Ohuhu alcohol markers. So that was the last one from 2024, and then I did 4 pages in January 2025. So I've done this one called Storm Flowers, Feed Me, Spring Day, and A Busy Night. So I really enjoyed all of those pages actually. If I had to choose a favourite from these, I think it would probably be the little Feed Me one. I just thought that was so cute. But yeah, I did 4 pages in January for my full book colour along in R.J. Hampson's Awake. Then I was doing the hashtag hosted by Amanda Colours, which was AC Any Day, and I was doing a page every month in this gorgeous book Any Day by Morgan O'Brien. And in January we did this one with the yoga pose. Again, it was Ohuhu alcohol markers, and I have shaded over the top with some pencils. I'm not 100% sure which ones I used, but it was a fun little page. Again, I was enjoying working in this book. Same again with Matchstick Mouse. I was doing a page every month in this book, Matchstick Mouse A Big Adventure by Morgan O'Brien. And this was a baddie colour with some lovely ladies. It was like a project book that we were doing. It was with Jess from Colouring Bumblebee, Nikki from Knick Knack Colours, Amy from Colouring with Amy, and Zoe from Zoe's Cozy Colouring. And I chose this page, I believe, for January. And I just thought it was appropriate with the snow in the background and little Matchstick Mouse having a hot pool bath in the mountains of Japan, I think this is. So yeah, really cute little page. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers and some sort of pencil over the top, which I cannot remember. But yeah, another cute page. Then I was also doing my Forest Song project book. This was with Yolanda from Colouring Biker Mama. I don't think Juliet from Juliet Colours had joined us at this point, but we did this page called Aptly Appropriate Winter. And this was our January page. Again, I think I chose this one. And again, Ohuhu alcohol markers. Some sort of pencil. Again, I'm not 100% sure which I used for shading. And then definitely some silver sparkle pop pen on the snowflakes there. So that was my January page. I did a buddy colour in Small Victories by Johanna Basford, and it was a buddy colour with Nikki from Knick Knack Colours. And we did this little kind of cardinal page, and I do quite like how this one turned out. I decided not to do any background on this and just colour the image. Which is sometimes just fun to do, and it was a lovely little page. A little bit of sparkle pop on there as well, a little bit of black jelly roll glaze, but yeah, just a sweet little page. I do like this book. I need to do more in here. That's Johanna Basford's Small Victories. I then decided to do a little bit of experimenting in My God Yule by Hannah Carlson. I wanted to get another page done as I'd only done one, and I thought it would be fun to experiment with a kind of inked background and then do my snowflakes with a white gel pen. And I'd seen people doing this on other pages, mostly using galaxy backgrounds, and I thought this would be fun. I splattered it with Lawn Fawn Liquid Stardust, which is all that shimmer and sparkle you can see on there. And it was fun. I don't love the background. I don't know. I don't love it, but it turned out okay. It was a fun little experiment, if nothing else. I do think it's quite effective, but maybe if I'd gone with a slightly darker background, then the snowflakes would have kind of popped off the page a little bit more. But it was a fun one to try out. So that was from God Yule by Hannah Carlson. I was also doing my Moon Valley project book. This is a project book with Dana from Dabla D, and we were doing 2 pages every month. and we were doing the book in order from front to back. So these were the 2 pages that we did for January. And I remember being quite frustrated with this because I used, I think it was Inktense I used in the background, and I really struggled with it. Struggled to get some nice blends. I just, yeah, it didn't quite go my way. I'm not 100% sure about the color palette, but you know, it's okay. It's not perfect. I can't remember what pencils I used. I normally use Prismacolors, but I'm pretty sure I used something different as well. And yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's not brilliant, but it's okay. So that was my 2 pages from Moon Valley. I then did a buddy colour in Seasons. This was a buddy colour with the lovely Lucy from Lucy Colours, and we did this reindeer page. This was my first page in this book. I think it's still the only page of, oh no, I've done another one. I did another one in October. So yeah, this was my first page in this book, Seasons by Hannah Carlzon, and I was heavily inspired by Shell from Shell's Colouring Journey. Her version of this page. I was a little bit nervous about doing all these crystals, and I think I kind of looked at what she had done and tried to imitate that down here. And then this gradient background, which I think it may have been Distress watercolor pencils, actually. Judging by the colors that I've used, I think that's what I used in the background. And then maybe Polychromos pencils. I'm not 100% sure. I should write these down, shouldn't I? And definitely lots of gold gel pen as well. I think that one turned out okay. It wasn't too bad. I actually quite like the way I've done the fur on my reindeer. Yeah, it was a fun page. So that was my page from Seasons by Hannah Carlzon. And finally, I did a page in Erie's World Literature. Again, this was a project book with Kate from Kate's Colouring Haven, Veronica from Veronica Dunn, Julianne from Julianne Net Art, and Emily from eArt Studios. And this page had meant to be done, it's this one we're looking at, it was meant to be done in August, and it didn't get done till January. I struggled with this page, and I think everybody in the group did, actually. And I could not decide how I wanted to colour this. It took me ages, and I was going back and forth. And in the end, I just had no idea. Like, I didn't know how to tackle it. And in the end, I came up with this idea for creating Delft kind of pottery, which is this blue and white. And once I did that, everything else kind of came together, and I actually really enjoyed colouring this page. I had a lot of fun. I think I may have used my Brute Funa squares on this. But anyway, it was a joy to colour. I used Posca in the background for this kind of wall, which didn't turn out particularly smooth, but I actually kind of like the texture that it gives. It makes it look a bit more like a stone wall in the background. And yeah, I just I'm so happy to have it done. So I think of my pages for January, this one is my favourite. I just like it because it was such a challenge to start this page, and then once I'd started, I was really enjoying it. So yeah, this is my favourite page from January. So I'm going to pop that aside, and I'll be back in a sec with my February pages. So February proved to be an incredibly busy month for me in terms of colouring, and I got quite a few pages done. So back to my full book colour along in R.J. Hampson's Awake. I did another 4 pages, I think. So the Oracle here. Again, all Ohuhu alcohol markers. I've got a little bit of stickles on this guy. I did Might As Well Jump. This one, which is called Bandit, always makes me smile. He's got a little bit of glossy accents on his eye there. And that was it, yeah. So 3 pages in February from my full book colour along for R.J. Hampson's Awake. I then did another page in Annie Day with Amanda Colours hashtag. This is by Morgan O'Brien, and I did this little page with the kind of flower arranging. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers. and some sort of pencil over the top. I don't know, a little bit of jelly roll as well in there as well for some sparkle in the glaze. So that was Any Day. I did another page in Matchstick Mouse A Big Adventure with my project book group, and we did this cute little koala bear page. I really like how this turned out. I like the kind of soft background, although there's not much of it. But again, just Ohuhu alcohol markers and a little bit of pencil over the top. So that was A Big Adventure colouring book. And also project book was For a Song. And we chose The Gingerbread Cottage. And for this one, I used Ohuhu alcohol markers, some white gel pen, and then this lovely Aiuli watercolour for the border with that nice shimmer and shine. And this one was quite a lot of fun to do. Yeah, I remember that one. So that was For a Song by R.J. Hampson. I, of course, also did my Moon Valley project book. And we did these 2 pages. And I kind of wanted a purple dragon, and then all of the rest of the colours came from that dragon. So I tend to try and do similar colour palettes across both pages in this book. Not always, but tend to. So I've got a lot of Aiuli watercolour on here as well, or that kind of shimmery, shiny paint there is all Aiuli watercolours. And then I can't for the life of me remember what pencils I used, but a very limited colour palette. I don't love this one. I did manage to smear some of my paint here, and it has gone everywhere actually. The glitter, I don't know if you can see that, it's literally coming off of my finger as I swipe it across. So the glitter has gone everywhere, and yeah, but it's a fun page. It's nice and shimmery, if nothing else. These were already blacked out, so these pages were already blacked out. Some of Maria Trolley's pages are blacked out in her books, so you can see, but yeah, so these ones were already blacked out for us. So that was my Moon Valley project book by Maria Trolley. I then did a buddy colour in A Million Puppies by Lulu Mayo, and we did this very end page. Of course, February is Valentine's Day, so we did this cute little heart, and I chose to go very pink and brown. Again, I cannot remember what pencils. I really need to write these down, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Cute little page, nothing fantastic, but sweet. So that was A Million Puppies by Lulu Mayo. I did my very first page in Stuffed Animals Midnight Tea Party by Pochi, and I did this page and I remember being really disappointed by it. I struggled with this page a lot. I don't know why, it just really gave me problems. The watercolour in the background didn't go particularly well. I think I used distressed watercolour pencils for that. And then I tried using my... I think I may have tried using something like Luminance. I remember trying to use quite a fancy pencil and really found it difficult. I'd struggled so much that I had to change pencils and go with something different. Looking at it now, I don't think it's awful. It's not too bad. I just remember the page giving me lots of problems, and kind of therefore took away the enjoyment. And it's the only page I've done in this book since, and I think I'm going to have to rectify that, but it just, yeah, it gave me a lot of problems. But actually looking at it now, it's not too bad. It's not awful. So that was my page from Stuffed Animals Midnight Tea Party by Pochi. I then also did a page in Twilight Garden by Maria Trolley because I hadn't touched it previously and I really wanted to do a page in it. And of course, being Valentine's Day, I did a heart. So this one, I think I may have used Albrecht Dürer's a little bit in the background. I was trying to do one of those fancy backgrounds that Elm Colours does, Erica, and I don't think it worked particularly well. I think it's okay, but not brilliant. Perhaps my Prismacolor pencils maybe, and then definitely some golds. I think I may have used my gold metallic watercolor paint because I've then splattered it around the page as well, which I don't love. I kind of wish I hadn't bothered doing that, but you know what, it's okay. It's all right. Nothing fancy, but it's okay. Excuse me. I then also did a page in Tales from the Witch's Cottage by Hannah Carlson. And I just did this little page here. Now, I really wanted to do a dark blue background, but I couldn't find a paint pen that was dark enough. And I ended up with this really bright blue background, which I don't love. I think it would look a lot better with a dark blue, but it's okay. I quite like the way my flower has turned out and the kind of frame around it. That could have been better. Yeah, but that was my page from Tales from the Witch's Cottage by Hannah Carlson. I've got a few more to show you yet for February. It was a busy month. So from Victorian Fantasy Picture Book by Kuroi Mori, I completed this page. And I know you're asking why I did a Libra page in February. The reason being, I was doing these prompts that I think it was a Pictured Purpose had created, and it was to colour a colour your star sign page. And so I knew there were star signs in this book, and I hadn't coloured in this book, and I really wanted to, so I chose this page. I really love how this turned out. I used really cheap pencils. I'm trying to remember. I think I might have used my Color pencils on this page. So quite cheap pencils. I used Distress Oxide inks in the background, and I did put a little bit of, obviously, gold Sparkle Pop and some of the, I think, orange Sparkle Pop on there as well, in the centre of the flowers. So it's got a little bit of a shimmer. But yeah, I really like the colour palette, and I like how it turned out. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was from Victorian Fantasy Picture Book by Kuroi Mori. I then did another page in my Aries World Literature Project book, and this was the Vain Crow page, and I really like how this one turned out. I had an idea to just do a black background, so I used my Posca pen for the background, and then I wanted this really beautiful, bright, vivid feather crow. He's stuck all the feathers on to make himself look pretty. I used lots of my Aioli watercolour paints, so there's lots of shimmer and shine, lots of bright jewel tones, and I rather like how my crow turned out as well. I used a little bit of greys and blues to create this kind of black looking crow without it being actually black, so it didn't just blend into the background. But yeah, I think he's turned out kind of neat, and I do love all the shimmer and shine on that page. So that one was a lot of fun. That was from Aries World of Literature. I did a page in Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford, and it was this Candyland page. So yeah, I really like this one. I think, I'm trying to remember, but I feel like I used my my Color Pastel tint pencils. I think that's what I've got to do this page, and I really like how it turned out. I feel like I went a little bit overboard with the yellows up here. Maybe should have chosen some different colours, but I think it turned out okay, and I maybe wish I hadn't kind of outlined my clouds with such a dark blue, but I wanted them to have a bit of a sparkle, and I chose a blue gel pen, but it's a bit too dark. But yeah, I think it's turned out pretty neat, really. I do like the colour palette. It was a lot of fun. So that was my page from Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. I then did a page in A Fragile World by Kirby Rosannes, and this was my very first page in this book. It had always intimidated me. And I did this otter page, and I actually really like how it turned out. I based all of this with Neocolor 2s, and then just did a touch of pencil shading over the top. Used a white acrylic marker to create the clouds up here. Obviously lots of white acrylic marker on the water. There's a little bit of Spectrum Noir sparkle pen on my fish to make them a little bit shiny and shimmery. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. I love the colour palette I've used, love that sky. And I think it turned out really, really, really neat. And I was really happy with it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was from A Fragile World by Kirby Rosannes. And then my final page is from Sagen. This was my final page for February anyway. Sagen by Maria Trolle. And this was for my Colour the Fairy Tales hashtag. And the fairy tale for February was Little Red Riding Hood. And I did this page, and I did this one with my Posca pencils. And I loved them on this paper. They turned out so good. They're so vibrant and vivid. There's only 36 in the set. So you are very limited with colours, but sometimes that can be a good thing. I really like how she turned out. It's really bold, very vivid, very bright. All of the background was done with pencil as well. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've got a little bit of stickles on my kind of little fairy guy there. But yeah, really fun page. Really enjoyed it. So I'm actually going to really struggle to pick a favourite for February because I really like this one. I really like my otter. He turned out really cool. Let me try and squeeze some of these in together. I also really like my Magical Worlds page, although I do feel like I should get the marker in there. I do feel like there are a few things about it I don't like, so I'm going to put that one away. I also, though, really like my Vain Crow page. I really love how he turned out. So vibrant and bright and vivid. So it would be between these three. Do you know what? It's so hard. I really like all of them. I can't pick all of them. I've got to pick one for my colouring page playoffs. So I think I'm completely drawn to this one. I just love this one. I know it's not the most complex of pages, but I just love the vibrancy. I love the shimmer and the shine, and I just love the way it turned out. So my favourite page for February is going to be this guy, The Vain Crow from Erie's World Literature. Yeah, there's 2 pages from that book now, isn't there? These two are pretty close seconds, but yeah, I'm going to have to give it to the Erie page. So I'll be back in a sec with March. So March also proved to be a very good colouring month. So let's start with my full book colour along in Awake by R.J. Hempson. So I did Ping Pong here. I did Harvest. Now I remember having a lot of trouble with this page because I was using some different paper and my alcohol markers really did not want to blend on that paper. Sorry for the glare. I did Pirate Gold here. Again, a lot of fun. A Walk in the Rain. So that was 4 pages. Yeah, and that was it. Those were my 4 pages for the month of March. Again, all Ohuhu alcohol markers and some little details with some sparkle pop and black glaze and that sort of thing. So that book was really coming along at that point. Of course, I was still doing Any Day with Amanda Colours, and we did this page. Now it is, although it's a March and it's a spring page in the UK, in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Southern Hemisphere where Amanda was from, it was autumn. So I decided to do an autumnal kind of page. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers and a little bit of pencil blending over the top. And I think just a very small touch of Sparkle Pop pen. So that was from Any Day, a soft living colouring book by Morgan O'Brien. In my Matchstick Mouse A Big Adventure project book, also by Morgan O'Brien, we did this Mardi Gras page. Now I have marked it as 2024, but I'm pretty sure this was 2025 because obviously March is Mardi Gras month. Lots of shimmer and shine on this page. It was a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure that's the page we did for 2025. I can't see anything else. I just want to double check, but yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that was the page for March 2025. So I really enjoyed that one. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers, lots of Sparkle Pop pen, a little bit of pencil shading over the top. That was a Matchstick Mouse A Big Adventure colouring book. In my Forest Song project book by R.J. Hempson, we did this page, The Sword and the Stone. Now I had so much trouble with this page. I had this idea of getting this kind of glow effect by using my colourless blender, and but it went all a bit messy, and then I had to go kind of over the top with a darker yellow marker to try and blend all that out, and it just ended up looking a little bit messy. It's okay, but I just, yeah, struggled with that. Sparkle Pop pen for my sword there, and alcohol markers for everything else, and a little bit of pencil shading. Was there? No, there wasn't, just alcohol marker on this one, so probably my Ohuhus. So that was from Forest Song by R.J. Hampson. I then did a couple of Camellia Angel Cova pages, so I chose this page from 50 Farmers Miniatures, and I did this one because it was Mother's Day, and I thought this was really cute. It's me and my 3 kids. Again, alcohol markers, a bit of glossy accent for the eyes, and some of the Spectrum Noir sparkle pen on the water. I don't know if you can see any of that. There's a little bit of shimmer on the water. Yeah, again, just a fun, quick and easy page, but I thought it was really cute. So that was 50 Farmers Miniatures. And then in 50 Mythical Minis, I did the Leprechaun page, of course, being St. Patrick's Day in March. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers and lots of Sparkle Pop pen for all the gold. I did add in this rainbow and the background here. Didn't turn out perfectly, but it's okay. It's a bit of fun. So that was 50 Mythical Miniatures. I did my very first page in A Million Kittens by Lulu Mayo, and this was a buddy colour, and I used some, I want to say my Brute Funa macarons, and some Jelly Roll Stardust, I think it was, in the centre of my flowers there. So quite a kind of pastel-y colour palette for that page, but it was super cute. So that was from A Million Kittens by Lulu Mayo. And this book, which is called Spring Day Sunshine by Cheon Seonji. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I did my very first page. This is one of these books where you've got the coloured version on one side, and then you get to colour the other side. So this was the side that I did. I did change it up slightly. I didn't go quite the same as what they had done. Mixed it up a little bit, but yeah, I kind of like the way that it turned out. I used a lot of black glaze pen on my butterflies there, but yeah, I think it was quite a fun little page. I did use a little bit of distress watercolor pencil in the background. I don't remember which pencils I used for this one, but yeah, it turned out rather nice. Quite like that one. So that was Spring Day Sunshine by Cheon Seonji. I did do another page in Small Victories by Johanna Basford. Again, this was a buddy colour, and I did this fish koi page with the kind of pagoda on top. I used some distress oxides in the background with a stencil, this kind of watery stencil. I used a lot of, I think this is stickles on my bubbles here, and some kind of gold sparkle pops as well. Can't remember which pencils I used, but turned out cute. I do really like the page. Might have been Prismacolor pencils, I think. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was in Small Victories by Johanna Basford. I also did a page in Minor Risa der Shiropa by Rita Berman, and I did this page with the flower envelope. Again, I think it was distress watercolor pencils in the background. I'm not 100% sure of the pencils that I used. It might have been my Artex pencils, maybe. Some black glaze on the berries and some gold sparkle pop. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Just a quick little page in Europa by Rita Berman. In my Moon Valley project book, we did 2 more pages. So we did these 2. So this is an example of 2 pages where I chose different color palettes. I kind of was going for a kind of morning sunrise scene here and then a nighttime scene over here. And I do rather like the way that these turned out, particularly like this one. I used pencils on everything, including the backgrounds of these. Can't remember. Did I go back to using my... Can't remember what pencils I used. I feel like this is Prismacolors. I'm not sure if I used Prismacolor on this side as well. I might have done. Do have a bit of bleed through on this side from the paint that I used over here. So there's a little bit of bleed through in places. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I used Prismacolors on this page, definitely, because the blues blend really nicely on the Prismacolors. May well have done the same over here as well. Honestly, can't remember. It's been that long. But yeah, I do like both of those. They turned out rather nicely. So that was from my Moon Valley project book by Maria Cholet. I did a page in Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford, and this was also a buddy colour. And I did this page with the owl on top of the house. I used my Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolours for the moon, for that nice shimmery moon. For the pencils, I think it might have been Black Widow, maybe? Or was it Luminance? Might have been Luminance, maybe. Yeah, possibly. Can't remember. Sorry, I'm terrible. I need to write these things down. Black glaze pen on the eyes, and yeah, so a little bit of gold sparkle pop in places. Just a very small touch, but yeah, I do quite like how that one turned out, like at Shimmery Moon. It turned out rather nicely. That was my page from Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford. In Aries World Literature, we did our next page, which was this Narcissus page, and for this one I used, pretty sure I just used Inktense with a little bit of pencil shading over the top, but primarily Inktense, I want to say. A little bit of white Posca, I think I used, and some sparkle pop on his kind of gold cuff there. But yeah, that one was fun, but I don't love it. It turned out okay. But yeah, I quite like how I've managed to do the reflection in the water. That was my page from Aries World Literature. I did a page in Enchanted Earth by Malpomene Panagiotou, and I chose this kind of stamp page with the snail. I really like how this one turned out. Excuse me, I did use Distress watercolor pencils for this background. And I'm not sure about the pencils. I think I want to say my Kalua pencils for the colouring. Yeah. A little bit of black glaze pen on my poppies, and some gold sparkle pop, obviously, and lots of white gel pen as well. But yeah, that was a fun one to do. So that was from Enchanted Earth by Malpomene Panagiotou. As you can see, I got a lot done this month. A Magical Jungle by Johanna Basford. I completed a page that had been a long-term whip. It had been a whip for probably about 6 or 7 years, and it was the smallest page. I don't know why it took me so long to complete it, but it was this one, and I had started it probably, yeah, like way back in 2018 or something like that, maybe even earlier, and I hadn't done much. I'd done a few of these leaves. Well, I had done quite a lot, actually. I'd done the toucans, I'd done the frogs, I'd done these flowers, and I'd done some of these leaves up here. So all I had to do was finish off the leaves, really, and add a little bit of a background, which I did. Again, I think I used Distress watercolor pencils for that background, and everything else was Prismacolor with a touch of some, I think these were the Ohuhu glitter markers on the center of some of my leaves there. And that was it, and it was done. I don't know why it took me so long to get to that page, but I actually really like it. I quite like how it turned out. Some of my leaves didn't turn out brilliantly, but other than that, it was pretty good. So that was my page from Johanna Basford's Magical Jungle. I also did a page in Fragile and Worlds of Flowers. Sorry, I've got Fragile Worlds there as well. In World of Flowers by Johanna Basford. And I remember starting this page and thinking, this won't take too long. It'll be a bit of fun. How wrong was I? So I used... Did I use Posca in the background? I want to say I used black Posca to black out everything. which took an age. And then I just used some Tombow dual brush markers for colouring everything. And then a little bit of Jelly Roll Stardust as well on the centre of my flowers. Yeah, not an undertaking that I would do again lightly. It took ages. It was very, even though I was using water-based markers to colour it, it just took a long time. I've got my little bee there is all done in kind of glitter gel pen as well. I don't know if you can see him. But yeah, it's nice to have another page done in this book, but yeah, it took a while. So that was my page from World of Flowers by Johanna Bestwood. Then my final page is from Fragile Worlds by Kobe Rosands. Because I had so much fun doing that otter page, I dove straight in and did a big double page spread, and I did these pandas, and this was a lot of fun. So I think I used Neocolor 2s possibly in the background. And what I did was I covered the whole background, all the bamboo and everything, in the Neocolor 2s. And then I just used my Prismacolors over the top to create the, to make the bamboo kind of come to life again. And then just coloured my pandas. Obviously they were quite easy because they're black and white. So it didn't take too much effort. A little bit of warm greys for the shading on the white parts, and then some grey, dark greys and things for the blacker parts. But yeah, I quite like how that one turned out. Bit of black, bit of white Posca to go around the white areas. But yeah, it turned out quite fun. I did quite enjoy that. So that was my final page from March. As for a favourite, goodness, this one would be up there just because it was my first Kirby double page spread, and that made me happy. I do really like the way this one turned out. I like the colour palette that I've used on this one. And yeah, this Milk Mini one was quite fun as well. They have a different colour palette with the oranges. Oh, what to choose? I think it would have to be between this one and the pandas. And I think just because it was my very first double page spread from Kirby, I'm going to have to go with my pandas, because I really was just, yeah, I was really happy with how it turned out. I was really happy that I got a Kirby double page spread done. So that's going to be my favourite for the month of March. And I'll be back with April in a minute. Okay, so April proved to be quite busy as well. Again, a full book colour along in RJ Hampson's Awake was still going on, and I did 5 pages in April. I did this one, Table Manners, Flamenco. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. It always makes me smile. The Perfect Drop, and Hippopoto Tea. So again, all Ohuhu alcohol markers, a touch of either sparkle from Stickles or glossy accents, or Sparkle Pop pen. And yeah, quick and easy, simple colouring. So it was a lot of fun, and it was definitely getting close to finishing. So that was Awake by RJ Hampson. In the hashtag AC Any Day, we of course did another page from Any Day, a soft living colouring book by Morgan O'Brien. And we did this a lovely spring day page with the flowers and the sun obviously shining. Cute little page. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers, a touch of pencil shading, but not much. Yeah, just a fun little page. Matchstick Mouse, A Big Adventure project book was still going strong. Again, Morgan O'Brien, and we did this cute little donkey page. Donkey trekking through the desert with little Matchstick Mouse on board. And that was a lot of fun. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers and a little bit of black glaze, and that was it for this one. A lot of fun. And the Forest Song colouring book, another project book by RJ Hampson. This one we did The Phoenix Tree, and again Ohuhu alcohol markers, and then I think I want to say my Gansai Tambi watercolours for the sun and the little spots on the feathers, and then just a touch of, it looks like I might have used the paint on the centre of the flowers as well. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So that was from Forest Song by RJ Hampson. And Moon Valley by Maria Trolle. we did these 2 pages for our project book. Again, I used some sort of watercolors in the background. I want to say my distress watercolor pencils, because they're very soft. So I think it might have been those. Not 100% sure about the pencils that I used this time around. Very small touch of some gold Signo and some black glaze pen on my Ladybird, and that was it. So again, cute pages, not my favourite, but I do like the way they look together. That was Moon Valley by Maria Trolle. I did do a couple of pages in 50 Zodiac themed miniatures by Camellia Angel Cova. I did the Aries page, the Ram. I initially was starting with Jess's colour along for this book, and then only did these 2 pages and didn't get very far. But that was based very much on the cover image. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers, and maybe a touch of maybe moonlight and some white gel pen, and then some gold for the border. And very similar to this page, again, Ohuhu alcohol markers, some gold gel pen for the border, and some white and green gel pen. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. 50 Zodiac themed miniatures by Camellia Angel Cova. And Small Victories, I did these 2 kind of quick pages. We were going to a race somewhere, and my daughter and I were staying in a hotel, and I remember taking this book and a couple of pencils to do these pages. And I did this page with the dinosaurs, and then decided I would just bring those colours over here to do this quick and easy page here. So yeah, a lot of fun. That was from Small Victories by Johanna Basford. And the Lulu Mayo's A Million Kittens. Now, I actually got this wrong. This was actually the page I did in March, and the other page I showed you for March was the page I did in April. But I did this page. So this one is Posca in the background. Lots of, I think it was, I want to say, I think it was Ohuhu glitter markers for the glittery bits. And then some sort of pencils. Again, I don't know. I haven't written them down. But yeah, fun, cute little page from A Million Kittens by Lulu Mayo. Erie's World of Laura Mia had just come out, and I did do a page in here. This was this page. So this one was done, I believe, with Inktense. So I based everything with Inktense, and then went over the top. I want to say, I'm not 100% sure what pencils I used over the top. Maybe my Polychromos. But yeah, I think it turned out okay. Not my favourite page, but it was fun. Reminds me of a German village, this. Kind of looks like those little Bavarian houses in Germany. Yeah, so a lot of fun. That was my page from Laura Mia by Erie. In Maria Trolle's Universe, I did do this cute little bunny page, and again, distress watercolor pencils for the background, and again, I really don't know which pencils I used on top of that. Yeah, I'm not sure. Might have been my Brute Funas, possibly. I used a bit of Posca around my flowers. Yeah, cute little page. Quite like how that one turned out. That was from Universe by Maria Trolle. I then did a page in Fairy Touch of Magic by Clara Markova. And I did this page. I believe this was a buddy colour as well. I used, I think, Neo colours in the background. And I don't know what pencils I used. I want to say my Brute Funas again. I was using my Brute Funas quite a bit at that time, so I want to say Brute Funas. A little bit of gold gel pen, just a touch, and a little bit of white Posca in places as well. That was a cute page, obviously for Easter. Fairy Touch of Magic by Clara Markova. Then in Aries World of Fairy Tales, I did this page. This was a buddy colour as well. Again, I think I used distress watercolour pencils in the background. And then I cannot remember what pencils I used. Yeah, no idea. But a little bit of kind of gel pen in there as well. Some metallic gel pen and some sparkle glittery gel pen as well. You can kind of see the glitter is spread all across the page. But yeah, cute little page for Easter. So yeah, that was my page from Aries World of Fairy Tales. And I did a page in Enchanted Creatures by Lolita Aya. And I did this swan page. And I did a black swan. Rather like how this one turned out. I used... What did I use in the background? Some sort of ink? Or is it chalk? Or is it my gel crayons? I think it might be my gel crayons actually in the background. And then, again, I don't know what pencils I've used. Gosh, I really need to write these down. Some white Posca. But yeah, that was fun. I quite like how that one turned out. I think it turned out quite nice. It's a lot of fun. That was my page from Enchanted Creatures by Lolita Aya. And then my final page is Leon's Journey by Kanoko Igusa. And I did this front cover page. I was desperate to do a page in this book, but it was really intimidating. And then I saw a page done by Lavender Field Arts, who had done this beautiful page. I think she's working through this book from front to back. She's done some stunning pages in here. So I kind of imitated her page, and I love the way it turned out. I never would have thought to do this kind of, you know, sunrise, sunset, sky in the background here. I just loved the way that turned out. I do remember using my Derwent Colour Soft pencils maybe, and struggling with them a lot. Yeah, it was a bit of a struggle, but I persisted and I carried on using them. But yeah, I do quite like how this turned out. I do have a big chunk of glue on the edge of my page there, which is a bit frustrating. But other than that, I really like the way this page turned out. So those were my pages for April. I don't know about a favourite. I think this Lolita Aya one was pretty good. Or my Leon's Journey. I think just because of the time it took and the struggle, and I know that I imitated somebody else with this, but sometimes that's okay. So I'm going to go with Leon's Journey page. I really like the way that one turned out. That was from Kanoko Igusa. Okay, and I'll be back with May. Okay, so in May we did some more pages in my Awake full book colour along by R.J. Hempson. I did this Dinosaur Dash page, a Quadruped Moped, Rockin' Robin, and Secret Stash. So 4 pages for the month of May. All Ohuhu alcohol markers again, some sparkle pop, some glossy accents. Yeah, just keeping it simple. We were very nearly at the end of the book. So that was Awake by R.J. Hempson. I then did a page for my Annie Day colour along, or Amanda Colours colour along. This was Annie Day's Soft Living colouring book, and we did this horse riding page. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers, and yeah, I think I'd stopped using pencil by this point. I was just using the alcohol markers, a little bit of black glaze pen on the eyes, and that was it. And obviously some white gel pen as well, or paint pen, I think. So that was from Annie Day. Matchstick Mouse, A Big Adventure colouring book by Morgan O'Brien, and we did this cute little kiwi page. This was for New Zealand Mother's Day, so I figured the kiwi would work nicely. A little bit of black glaze pen and just Ohuhu alcohol markers and some white gel pen as well. So a very cute page. In For a Song by R.J. Hempson, we did this beautiful page, Sunday Morning it's called. Lots of lovely shiny gold on here. I think that was I want to say that was some sort of watercolours, my Aiuli watercolours, I think, for the gold, and the rest of it is just done with Ohuhu alcohol markers and a touch of white gel pen in places as well. But yeah, very shiny. I love that one. So that was R.J. Hampson's First Song. I did a fun little page in Portraits, Coloriage, Mystère, Art Therapy, Hatchet Heroes, Disney, illustrated by, where's it gone? Eugenie Varone. And I did this one, obviously May being Mermaid, I decided to do Ursula. So it just super tip markers for this one, quite quick and easy, and lots of fun. That was from Coloriage Mystère Portraits. I then had only just got Flowerscape in Paradise, and I decided to do a page. I used my Staedtler Design Journey pencils. Sorry, this is by Maggie and Terios. Yeah, Staedtler Design Journey and pencils on here, which weren't brilliant, but it was a tiny little page. I just wanted to get something done. So I did that little page from Flowerscape in Paradise. And then from Flowerscape, I did another couple of tiny little pages. Again, just using Staedtler Design Journey pencils. And again, I don't love them on this paper, but it was fun to do a quick little page. So those were from Flowerscape by Maggie and Terios. I did a buddy colour in A Million Sloths by Lulu Mayo, and we did this fun little page. I think this was a colour along on the channel. I think I used some soft pastels for the background. Lots of gold metallic pen and some, I think some Jelly Roll Stardusts for some of the leaves. Yeah, just a fun, cute little page. Really enjoyed how that one turned out, like the colours. Yeah, a lot of fun. So that was from A Million Sloths by Lulu Mayo. In my Moon Valley project book, we did another 2 pages, or this one was a double page spread. These kind of little fairy houses. I used some Distress Oxide inks and a cloud stencil for the background. Don't really love how that turned out. Not my best work. I also used Distress Oxide inks for the the grass down here. And then some pencil work, some black glaze pen on my butterflies. Yeah, not my favourite of my pages in this book. I think I was getting a bit burnt out by this point with this book and was kind of not taking as much time with it as I would normally like to do. But it's a completed page. So that was from Moon Valley by Maria Trolle. Of course, being Mermaid, I had to do a page in Tales from Atlantis by Hannah Carzon, and I chose this mermaid page. Now, I decided to go with a monochromatic colour palette and do her all in blue. So I used a blue Posca in the background. I think this is Slate Grey, I think it's called. And then, yeah, just did some colouring with some blue pencils. Can't remember which pencils I used, as always. A little bit of Jelly Roll Stardust, and the only other colour comes from this kind of pinky shell colour that I've used, and just a couple of little spots and some silver as well. But yeah, my first kind of monochromatic page, monochromatic-ish page. Do rather like how that turned out. Yeah, that was from Tales from Atlantis by Hannah Carzon. Then I did a buddy colour in Summer Nights by Hannah Carzon, and I did this fun butterfly page, and I loved this page. I used, again, Distress Oxide inks in the background, and then I can't remember what pencils I used over the top. Lots of black glaze, and splattered with some, I think, silver paint, as well as water. Just had a lot of fun with this page. I really like how it turned out. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. I loved the kind of contrasting colours that I went for, and it really made me fall in love with this book, actually, and I went on to do quite a few more later in the year. So yeah, that was my page from Summer Nights. And my final page was from Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby Rizans, and this was also a buddy colour, and we did this waterfall bookshelf page. Now this page was so intimidating. I was so nervous about starting this one. Really wasn't sure about how it was going to go, and love the finished result. I really like the colours that I've chosen. I love the way I've got the water, that it actually looks like it's moving. I mean, Kirby really helps with that by putting in the line work that he does to really help you figure out where the shadows and things need to go. So yeah, I love the way this turned out. I used my Prismacolors on this. Lots of gold gel pen as well on my books, and lots of white Posca for the water. But yeah, really, really like how that one turned out. So if I had to pick a favourite for the month of May, this one definitely a contender, and also my butterfly. I really like how that one turned out. If I had to choose just one, which I do for my colouring page playoffs, as much as I really love the vibrancy of this, I've got to go with my Kirby page, just because it was so intimidating, and yeah, it was a real, when I finished it, I felt so accomplished. So it's got to be Kirby. So that is from Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby Razans. And I'll be back with June. Okay, so June proved to be a bit of a strange month for me, because I was gearing up for my big overseas move, and was trying to get as much done in terms of my project books and things as possible. So with my Awake full book colour along, I wanted to complete it and get all the filming done before I was packing everything away. So I completed quite a few pages. I did this one, a Foxtrot, Spotlight, Bachelor Pads morning routine, sorry, excuse the glare, Raccoon Raider, Dragonfly, Investigation, Watching the Game, and Alien Abduction. So I completed the full book colour along before I went away. So quite a few pages. Again, all Ohuhu alcohol markers, some additions with the glossy accents, stickles, some white gel pen, all that sort of good stuff. Yeah, a lot of fun. I was so happy to have this book completed. That was just, yeah, it was really nice to have it finished before I went away. So that was Awake by R.J. Hampson. And my Any Day Soft Living colouring book by Morgan O'Brien, I did my final page for the AC Any Day colour along. And it was this cute little one. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers, and some white gel pen, a little bit of black glaze. But quite a simple page, but yeah, it was nice to have it completed. So that was AC Any Days, hashtag for Any Day Soft Living colouring book. And then I haven't gone back to that. So it would have been nice, because the book would really be filling up now, but I felt like I needed to step back from some of my projects. Same with this one, Matchstick Mouse, a Big Adventure colouring book by Morgan O'Brien. This was the last page that I did for that project book, and I haven't gone back to it. It was aptly Matchstick Mouse packing, getting ready for the big adventure, which I was doing at that time, getting packed up and getting ready to move countries. So yeah, there was quite a lot going on in my life at this point. So it was just kind of wrapping things up for me. Again, alcohol markers and some white gel pen on this page, a little bit of black glaze as well. So that was from Matchstick Mouse, A Big Adventure. And Forest Song, we did this, The Guardian page. I really actually like the way this one turned out. Again, just Ohuhu alcohol markers and some white gel pen, a little bit of gold as well, but just a very simple page. And again, this book went on hiatus then for a while, and we didn't go back to it until just recently. So that is Forest Song by R.J. Hampson. Same with Moon Valley by Maria Trolle. I was trying to get as many pages done as possible, and I did 6 pages, and probably wasn't a great idea because I kind of rushed through them. Now there is a bit of bleed through from me splattering this page over here, but I used I think I used a Sharpie acrylic marker for the background, and then some, I want to say Brute Funa pencils maybe, I'm not 100% sure. Some black glaze and some gel pen. I don't mind these pages. I think they turned out okay. A bit disappointed about the splattering effect at the bottom, which is a bleed through, and the Sharpie marker didn't come out nice and smooth, unfortunately. It was a bit rough. So I did those 2. I then did these 2, which I do really like. I particularly like this one with the owl. Again, this was already pre-blacked out paper, so it wasn't me adding the background, but yeah, enjoyed colouring that one. I think it turned out quite sweet. Excuse me. And then these 2, and again, I really quite like these 2. I struggled a bit with my cat. I do struggle with fur and things a little bit. It turned out okay. I do quite like my dragon page though. I really like how I've done this one. I like the background, the sky in this one. I think it's turned out quite neat, and I like my little dragon in amongst all the poppies and the flowers. So that was a lot of fun. So I kind of caught up. So I was up to August, and then we did have a hiatus since then, and I'm hoping we are definitely starting back up this month, so we can carry on with this project book. So that is Moon Valley by Maria Trolle. I was invited to join a dragon spell colouring group on Instagram, and we did this page. Was the very first page that we did, and I love it. Sorry, this is by Joseph Kattenbang. It had only just been released, this book, so it was great to get a page done. I haven't gone back to it. I don't really love the way this page turned out. I don't know. I don't know what it is. The background's not very smooth. I don't really like that. I don't feel like it. Yeah, I just feel like it's a bit meh. I don't know. Not my favourite page. Yeah, I would like to get back to this book, but I just haven't had a chance of late. But yeah, some of the pages that group is producing is just amazing. So yeah, but it was fun. It was good to join in. That was Mythographic Dragon Spell by Joseph Kattenbang. And then the only other page I did this month was from Botanicum by Maria Trolle, and this was also a buddy colour. And we did this page, and because it was Pride Month, I decided to add this rainbow in the background. Whether it was the right decision or not, I don't know. Again, not a page that I'm loving. It was a bit meh, but it's okay. I think my mind was just on other things at this point, and I was trying to rush through pages to get them done in order to kind of be prepared. And I wish I'd taken a bit more time, but yeah, completed page in Botanicum. So I didn't really love any of my pages from June, but I think if I had to choose, it would be the little dragon page from Moon Valley. I think that one turned out to be my favourite of the month for June, but like I say, none of them really are, you know, ones that I'm super proud of, but it was a time in my life when things were a bit crazy. So that was Moon Valley by Maria Trolle. And I will be back with June, which is a very small month, and so is sorry, not June, we were just done June. I'll be back with July, which is a very small month. Okay, so July was a little bit of a quieter colouring month, but I actually really like most of the pages that I did in July. So the first page I did was in mine Summer Spicier Gang by Rita Berman. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It's Rita's Summer Walk. And I did this page, and this was kind of done while all of my belongings were being packed up, getting ready to ship back to the UK. So yeah, I was just doing little bits and pieces here and there when I got a chance, and yeah, it will always bring back memories of that time for me. So I think I used my I'm trying to remember what pencils I took with me. Was it my I know I took my Prismas, and I took another set of pencils, maybe my Artex or something like that. So I think it was my Artex and some gel pens, lots of gold gel pen and some white gel pen on there as well. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to do a page where I could kind of pick it up and put it down. So I just did one element, would put it down and go and sort out boxes, and then come back and do another little bit. It was just a bit of a de-stressor in between. I realise I've put some Jelly Roll glaze on this ladybug, but not on this one. So I'll put some on that one as well. But yeah, so yeah, it will always bring back memories of that time of moving. That was mine Summer Spicier Gang by Rita Berman. Then in the City Tales from the City Among the Stars by Hannah Carlson, I had only just bought this book, and I decided to take it away with me while I was moving and traveling. And I did this page. This was done with Prismacolor pencils. And then I had this, I think it's called a Pentel Slicky pen, which has kind of got this rose gold colour, which I thought worked quite nicely with the page. So I used a bit of that. A little bit of white Posca dots on this flower, although they've turned purple from the Prismas. But yeah, I do quite like how that page turned out. I then went on to do another page in this book, and I don't love this page. yeah, I didn't quite go as planned. I did this black background with some black Posca. Everything else is done with my Prismas and some gold Sparkle Pop pen. Yeah, not sure about the colour palette for this one. Think I should have gone with something different, but it's okay. It's turned out all right. And it was fun to get another page done in that. So that was Tales from City Among the Stars by Hannah Carlson. This was another book that I had with me while I was traveling, Rita Berman's Hidden Earth. So this was the English version of the book. I already had the German version, but I wanted to get a page done in this, and I did this page, and I used, what did I use? I used some, I think it was W.H. Smith watercolour pencils that I had taken with me because they were easy to travel with. So I just used that for the background. And then possibly my Artex pencils for the actual colouring. Honestly, can't remember. But yeah, there's some glitter on there from something. I see glitter on the page. I don't know whether that's transferred from something else, but I can't see any like glittery gel pen or anything on there. Oh, do you know what it was? I think when I was using my water brush, I had some, I'd used my Lawn Fawn liquid stardust on another page, and I think it was still on my water brush when I was using it for the background, so I ended up with this bit of shimmer on the page accidentally. But yeah, it's always nice to have a bit of shimmer anyway. So that was the page that I did from Rita Berman's Hidden Earth. I then did a page in Lulu's House of Wonder by Lulu Mayo, and this was a buddy colour as well. We did this page. This was all done with my Prismacolor pencils. I love how it turned out. I love the colour palette that I've chosen. Yeah, really sweet little page. Cherries and strawberries, what could go wrong? And it's very summery, isn't it? So yeah, lovely little page. Really enjoyed that one. That was Lulu's House of Wonder. In Summer Nights, I also took this book with me while I was traveling, and I had pre-prepared some backgrounds. So I'd done some Distress Oxide ink backgrounds. You can see I've done one here as well. So I did this one, and this was all done with Prismacolor pencils. Obviously the Distress Oxide ink background. Lots of white Posca for various bits and pieces, and that was it. But yeah, really love how that one turned out. Nice and bright and vivid. I did another page as well. I did this one with the lupins and the bees, and again a pre-prepared Distress Oxide ink background and Prismacolor pencils, along with some gold Sparkle Pop and some white Posca, which is changing colour because of the Prismas underneath. But yeah, a fun little page. Some black glaze pen on there as well. So I love how both of those turned out. And I did do a page in World of Flowers by Johanna Basford as well. I did this one, and again, all done with Prismacolors, including the background, a bit of gold Sparkle Pop for the border, and a bit of black glaze for some of my flowers, which in hindsight I don't love, but it's okay. Yeah, kind of generally like the result of that page. I think it's quite nice. Some fun colours. So those are the pages for July. If I had to pick a favourite, which I do, for my colouring page playoffs, it would be either this one from Lulu Mayo or one of these from Summer Nights. I do really like this one. And in fact, I think this has been my most successful page on Instagram. However, for me, this one, this one was actually so easy. Once I'd done that background, there wasn't much to colouring this page. So I feel like this one for me is probably my favourite of the two. Yeah, and I do really like this one. I really love the way that one turned out. But I think I'm going to have to go with my Summer Nights page from Hannah Carlson. So that one is going to be my favourite for July. Then for August, I got a grand total of 1 page completed, and it was in Lulu's House of Wonder. Let me see if I can find it. It was a very slow month, August. It was the month that we moved, that we got our property, had had to get it all sorted out, so I just did this page. And I did this one, I didn't use my Prismacolors, and I was regretting not using my Prismacolors. I can't remember what I used, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I didn't like the way that it turned out particularly. I think it's okay. Used a little bit of white Posca, and that's about it really. The pencils, which I cannot remember, I'm so sorry. But as it's my only page for August, it has to be my favourite as well. So that was August. I will show you in September in just a sec. Okay, so September was a fairly slow month as well. I only got 4 pages done, and of course September is Space-tember, so I did a page in Hannah Carlson's Space colouring book, and I chose to do this little page here. I believe I used, was it Inktense for the background, or was it Albert Durer's? I want to say Inktense. I could be wrong. And then Polychromos maybe? So sorry, I cannot remember. Some gold metallic pen, gold and silver, and some white paint pen. Yeah, don't love the way this turned out. I wish I'd done something different with the stars. They look a bit clumpy and messy, but it's okay. The galaxy background was fun to do. So that was my page from Space by Hannah Carlson. I also did a page from Romantic Country by Eerie, and I was clearly feeling the autumn vibe and went with this page, which I did all with Inktense, I believe, and just a very small touch of pencil shading over the top, some gold and silver sparkle pop as well, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, I do like how this one turned out. It gives me Anne of Green Gable vibes, and that's kind of I was going for Green Gables and Anne riding in the buggy carriage here. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing that one. That was from Erie's A Romantic Country. And then I went back to Summer Nights and did another couple of pages in Summer Nights by Hannah Carlson. So I did this page. Again, it was a pre-prepared Distress Oxide ink background, a Prismacolor pencils, some white some white Posca, sorry. And I think that's it. I don't think I used any, a little bit of gold paint splattered on the outside of this one. But yeah, I do really like how that one turned out. Kind of a nice softer colour palette. And then to go completely opposite, this really bright sunflowers kind of page here. Again, a pre-prepared Distress Oxide ink background, Prismacolor pencils, white Posca, and that's it. But yeah, I love the way that one turned out. I love using my Distress Oxide inks in this book. Always seems to come out really nicely. So my favourite pages or page for this month would have to be one of these two. It's actually really hard to choose between these two. I think, oh, I don't know, it's tricky. It really is tricky. Which one do I like more? I think I'm going to have to go with, I don't know, I think I'm going to have to go with this one. I think this is my favourite for September. It's a tough choice though. So yeah, that is September, and I'll be back in a sec with October. Okay, October was a fun month, obviously Halloween. So I had this Colouring Heaven Pocket Fantasy Animals. These are all illustrations by Hannah Carlson, and I did this cute little one, my little fox. I used alcohol markers, alcohol markers as a base, and then a little bit of pencil shading over the top, some white Posca and some gold metallic gel pen as well. Yeah, a lot of fun. I enjoyed that one. Colouring Heaven Fantasy Animals. I also had another Colouring Heaven. I think I was kind of in a binge of buying these because I hadn't seen them living in the UAE. I hadn't seen them over there, so it was fun to get my hands on them. And this one has designs from different artists, but I did a page by Deborah Muller. This one is called Pause for Thought. Again, alcohol markers, some pencil shading over the top, some sparkle pop pen around the outside, and a little bit of white Posca, I think, for some highlighting details. So yeah, just a fun little autumnal page, lots of pumpkins in there, which was Colouring Heaven Autumn 2025. I did another page in Lulu's House of Wonder by Lulu Mayo, and it was this little page. This was meant to be a September kind of page for my buddy colour, but I didn't get it done, so it turned into October's. And yeah, cannot remember what pencils I used. Again, I'm sorry. Ohuhu glitter markers though in places. Yeah, and some white gel pen. And that was it. Lulu's House of Wonder by Lulu Mayo. And Small Victories by Johanna Basford, I was very inspired by my lovely friend Katia from Bubble of Colouring, who had done an altering a page to make it a Halloween page. So I decided to alter this page in Johanna Basford's Small Victories to create a Halloween wreath. And it was a lot of fun. There was lots of kind of sticky moments with this. It wasn't as it wasn't as simple and straightforward as I had hoped, and it's a little bit of a mess, but I do actually really quite like the way it turned out. I used Prismacolor pencils for my colouring. I used Arctic's acrylic markers to do a lot of these bits, some silver gel pen and some black glaze pen as well. So yeah, and some Distress Oxides in the background. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to try that one out. So that was Small Victories by Johanna Basford. In Seasons by Hannah Carlzon, I did this witchy page. Now, I wasn't feeling this one so much as I was colouring it, but now that it's finished, I actually quite like it. Because I'd done a black background, I decided my cat had to be white rather than black, because else he would just kind of fade in. And then I wanted my witch to have kind of green skin as well. Maybe I was feeling a little bit of the Wicked vibes, I don't know. But yeah, I quite like how it turned out in the end. Pretty sure I used my Black Widow pencils on this one, and some black acrylic marker and some white Posca. And maybe a little bit of black glaze in places as well. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it turned out okay in the end. That was my page from Seasons from Hannah Carlzon. Of course, Hannah Carlzon had just come out with her Halloween book, so I had to do a page in there. I did this one as a colour along on my channel. This is the Pumpkin Girl page. So I did black acrylic marker. I may have used Black Widow pencils on this as well. Some gold sparkle pop pen and some black glaze as well. Yeah, not my favourite page. Didn't turn out brilliantly, but it's okay. I also went on to do this Halloween wreath. Again, I kind of messed this one up a bit. I think I used Prismacolor pencils, and then I splattered it with a gold paint, which I smeared. That went a bit messy, but it's okay. It didn't turn out brilliantly. I saw Karen for my Colourful Country Life's version. I was like, oh wow, should have waited and done it like hers, but never mind. It turned out okay. So that was my pages from Halloween by Hannah Carlzon. I then did a page in Erie's World of Fairy Tales for my Cinderella Colour the Fairy Tale hashtag. And this is it here. I used Black Widows on this page as well. And they work beautifully in this book, actually. It was really nice. A bit of white Posca, a tiny bit of gold sparkle pop, and that was it. So yeah, those were my pages from October, and I think if I had to choose a favourite, it would definitely be this one. I really like the way this one turned out. So that's my favourite from October. Okay, on to November. So in November, I was getting back into my colouring vibe, and I did a page in Forest Song by RJ Hampson. We started our project book back up again, and we did this a little red page. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers, some white gel pen, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Fun, quick and simple page, and I enjoyed it. I had just got my hands on this beautiful book, Mystic Animals by Stratton Peterson, and I did a buddy colour in here. We did this page, and this was for my Colour the Fairy Tales hashtag. It was the Frog Prince in November, and I thought this was a fitting page. Lots of gold. I think this was Iode watercolor I used for the moon, for the border, and for the little gems down here. Lots of white Posca, and then some, I'm not sure what pencils. I used, that's right, I used Tombow dual brush markers to base, and then used polychromos over the top. So yeah, I enjoyed that page. It was a lot of fun. From Mystic Animals by Stratton Peterson. In Magical Dawn by Hannah Karzan, I did my first page. This is, I'm calling it a phoenix. I don't know if it was meant to be a phoenix, but that's what I saw when I looked at this page. I saw a phoenix. I used some Lawn Fawn inks for the background along with a stencil to create this moon in the back. And then Prismacolor pencils and some gold and metallic things over the top. I can't remember what I used. Oh, I think it was my glitter markers, Ohuhu glitter markers for all of the kind of sparkly bits. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. From A Magical Dawn by Hannah Karzan. I had also just got my hands on Wonderful Wildflowers by Johanna Basford, so of course had to colour my first page. I did this, I think this is a bit of a colour along on the channel, and yeah, I used a Posca for the background, and then pretty sure I used Prismacolors for the colouring, and lots of my what did I use? Sakura Stardust pens, I think, for the kind of glittery centres of my flowers. So that was a lot of fun from Johanna Basford's Wonderful Wildflowers. I didn't say World of Flowers, Wonderful Wildflowers. In Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emily Leaderhall Obag, I did this cute page. Yeah, used a lot of Posca for this, and some, what pencils did I use? Goodness, I can't remember. It wasn't that long ago. It might have been Prismacolors again. Some Sparkle Pop pen, or some, no, not Sparkle Pop, it's just gold metallic pen I've used, and spaces around there, and some white Posca as well. So yeah, fun little page from Emily Leaderhall Obag's Fairy Tales and Folklore. I also had just got my hands on this book, Blossomia by Annie Reyes, and I couldn't resist doing another frog prints page for my Colour the Fairy Tales hashtag. This was all done with, I started this one out with luminance and really struggled with them on this paper, so I moved to a different pencil, which I cannot for the life of me think of what it was. Was it Prismas? It might be Prismas. I used some white and yellow Posca pen as well. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, a limited colour palette, a little bit of gel pen for the centres of my flowers, but yeah, limited palette. I took a lot of inspiration from Annie Reyes of how to colour my frog in particular. I don't really love the way my background turned out on this one, but I think it's a cute page. So that was from Blossomia by Annie Reyes. I had also just bought Romantasy. I was obviously on a buying binge at this point. Romantasy by Veronica Kalinska. This is a mythographic book. And I completed my first page in here, which was this crown. So I used, yeah, alcohol markers to base everything, and then a bit of coloured pencil over the top. And lots of Posca to go around the outline of everything. But yeah, really happy with how that one turned out, actually. It was a lot of fun. So that was my first page from Mythographic Romantasy by Veronica Kalinska. And then, of course, I had been working on my Kirby Roseanne's Mythomorphia. I'd been doing this Gnomes double page spread for quite a while and kind of just chipping away at it. And it was completed in November. And I was very, very happy by that. And I just love the end result. I think it's so vibrant and colourful. This page really intimidated me when I first looked at it, and I was very, very nervous about colouring it, but decided I just had to bite the bullet and go with it. I used polychromos pencils, which worked beautifully, Neocolor 2s in the background, lots of white Posca, a little bit of gold gel pen on the kind of reins, and little bits and pieces on my gnomes. But yeah, really like how this one turned out. And definitely my favourite for the month of November. Okay, and finally we are in December, and the first page is from my project book Forest Song by R.J. Hempson, and I did this little page. I don't love it, but it's okay. It was done with Ohuhu alcohol markers, some gold and silver sparkle pop, and that's pretty much it. I even forgot to add white gel pen. Oh, I did add a bit of white gel pen. I apologize, I did. Yeah, that was it. Not my favorite page, but it's okay. Nice to get another one done in Forest Song. I did a bunch of colour by number pages. This one is from Disney Princesses, Coloriage Mystère Hatchet Heroes, illustrated by Jeremy Mariez. And I did this Belle and Present page. These are just really fun, quick and simple pages for me, and I don't spend a great deal of time, but it was nice to get one done. I also did one in Le Grand Classique Tomb 11, again a Disney Coloriage Art Therapy Hatchet Heroes. This one is illustrated also by Jeremy Mariez, and I did this Elsa and Anna page. Didn't turn out brilliantly, but it was a lot of fun. Just, like I say, quick, simple colouring. And finally, I did one in Coloriage Mystère Disney Portraits, Art Therapy Hatchet Heroes, illustrated by Eugenie Veron, and I did this one. And I was trying out my new grabby acrylic markers, so I just wanted to do a quick page in here. So that was a lot of fun. Disney Portraits. I did my first page in Årstider, which is Maria Trolle's New Seasons book. And I did this little winter market page, or Christmas market really. Distress Oxide ink background, Prismacolor pencils, some gold sparkle pop, and some white Posca. Yeah, it didn't turn out brilliantly, but it was a fun little page to do, and I did enjoy it. So that was from Årstider by Maria Trolle. In Julen's Alla Forga, I think, by Maria Trolle, which is her new Christmas book, I did 2 pages. Did this cute little one with the mistletoe and the gnome. This was done with Distress Oxide inks in the background, splattered with some Lawn Fawn liquid stardust to get that shimmer, and coloured it with Prismacolor pencils and a little bit of Posca as well. So yeah, it's a cute, fun little page. The page did rip a little bit with the distress inks, so it didn't go brilliantly, but it was okay. I then did this little gingerbread page, and this was done for my Colour the Fairy Tales hashtag, and I used Black Widow pencils for everything, including the background, and the background turned out a little bit strange. I did end up using some Prismacolor blender pencil over top to try and help smooth it out. It's gone a little bit pinkish in places, which is a bit odd. Some stickles on the wings, and lots of Posca to cover over different lines. But yeah, cute little page, like how it turned out. I received this beautiful book, Winter Wonder by R.J. Hempson, as a lovely gift from a subscriber, and of course I had to colour a page, so I chose to do this red robin page, all done with Ohuhu alcohol markers, a little bit of stickles. I wanted it to look like frosty glass. Don't know if I really achieved that. And some white gel pen and a little bit of grabby gel pen on here as well in various places. But yeah, cute little page. Again, like how that one turned out. Beautiful gift. And then on to Johanna Basford's Johanna's Christmas. I did this lovely polar bear page. Again, Distress Oxide ink in the background. Again, I had a little bit of difficulty with the Distress Oxide ink. Didn't go particularly smoothly, but it was okay. I used a stencil and some white pigmenting in the background to create this snowfall effect, which I then went over with Posca because it wasn't kind of coming up very clearly, and it did smear a little bit. I've used Prismacolor pencils, like I say, lots of white Posca, and some silver grabby metallic gel pen, or glitter gel pen really. Yeah, I really like how that one turned out though. I think that was kind of neat. That was my page from Johanna Basford's Johanna's Christmas. I did a buddy colour in God Yule by Hannah Carlson, and we did this ornaments page. Yeah, again, Distress Oxide ink background. Again, struggled with the paper tearing in a few places with this one. I think it's covered up fairly well. I used some Cadence shimmer spray for this lovely gold shimmer in the background. Prismacolor pencils, lots of white Posca, and some gold sparkle pop for the kind of string between the beads. Lovely shimmery Christmassy page, and I really like the colours I've used on that one. And the final page is from Erie's World of Literature, and we did this. This was a better colour. It was the Velveteen Rabbit story. Such a lovely story. And for this one, I used, what did I use? Polychromos? Pretty sure I used Polychromos for this one. Yeah, lots of Posca, lots of white Posca, some Artistro paint pens in here as well, some gold sparkle pop. Yeah, really like this one. It was a lot of fun. It was quite an intimidating one to do. I think I did actually base everything with Albert Drawers to begin with, and then went over with my Polychromos over the top. But yeah, like how that one turned out. So if I had to pick a favourite for December, this one or this one, what would I go with? Can't get this one open. Hannah Carlson or Erie? I really like this one. I don't know, it's a tough choice. I think I said when I was doing my completed pages, I went with this one, but I think in hindsight, it would probably be this one. Yeah, I love Hannah Carlson. So yeah, probably my Hannah Carlson page. So that would be my favorite. So let's get into the playoffs then. Let me just pause this for a second, get myself reset, and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so let's start the playoffs. So favorite page from January was this one, and from February it was this one, both in the same book, Erie's World of Literature. So I've got to choose a favorite between these two, and I think for me it's got to be the Vein Crow page. I just love the sparkle and shine on this page. It was so much fun to do. I really enjoyed it. So that's my winner from that round. Okay, on to March and April. So March's page was the Pandas double page spread from Fragile Worlds by Kirby Rosannes, and April's was from the cover page from Leon's Journey by Kanoko Agusa. This is quite tricky because they're both pages that I'm quite proud of, and I do really like both of them. However, because I used inspiration for this page, I feel like I'm going to go with my double page spread from Kirby Rosannes, because it was my first double page spread and it was quite an achievement for me, first Kirby double page spread anyway. So that is my winner from that round. For where are we up to? January, February, March, April, June, May and June, sorry. So May and June, I've got Worlds Within Worlds was my page from May. Gosh, I'm getting confused. So May was the waterfall page from Kirby Rosannes, Worlds Within Worlds. June was my page from Moon Valley by Maria Trolle. I think this one is actually quite easy. Easy winner has to be Kirby Rosannes. I just love the way this page turned out. I'm really happy with that one. So it's got to be Kirby Rosannes again. Let's put a marker in that one. So that was May, June, July and August. So July was Summer Nights by Hannah Carlson. It was this page. And August was Lulu's House of Wonder. This is the only page I did in August. Again, I think a pretty easy winner for me. It's a cute page, but definitely not my favourite. It has to be Hannah Carlson, Summer Nights. Let's pop that in there. Okay, so for September and October, Summer Nights is making another appearance. It was this page that I chose for September as being my favourite, and for October it was my page in Erie's World of Literature, the Cinderella page. Oh, it's quite tricky to choose between these two, actually. I quite like both of them. Sorry, I can't get them both on screen because they're on different pages there. Which one do I like the most? Wow, this is probably the hardest decision yet. just for something different, I'm going to go with the Eerie page. I really like how it turned out. It was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed colouring it. Not that I didn't enjoy the other one, but we're going with that one. So it's Eerie as the winner. And then finally, for November and December, I have my Gnomes double page spread from Kirby Roseanne's Mythomorphia. And I have Godule by Hannah Carlson with the little baubles page. Again, as much as I like this page, it's a pretty easy winner for me. I've got to go with the Gnomes double page spread. I really enjoyed this page and just love the way it turned out. And again, it was such an intimidating page for me, but it's got to be the winner. Let's pop a marker in that one. Okay, let's go down to the next round. Okay, for this round, it's my favourite from January, February up against my favourite from March, April. So my favourite from January, February was the Vain Crow. For March, April, it was the Pandas double page spread from Kirby's Fragile World. Gosh, it's another tricky one. The Vain Crow, I do love the bright colours, the sparkle, the shine. I love the way that one turned out. Kirby, my first double page Kirby, quite a momentous occasion for me. But yeah, I think the Vain Crow has got to win for me. So Vain Crow is through to the finals. Simple as that. Right. On to my winners from May, June and July, August. So for May, June, it was the Kirby Roseanne's Worlds Within Worlds waterfall page. And for July, August, it was my Summer Nights page here. Yeah, again, as much as I love both of these pages, very clear winner for me has got to be the Kirby page. I just love the way it turned out. I was so intimidated from starting this, and yeah, it was a real achievement for me to do this page, so it's got to win. The Summer Nights is going away. Kirby is winning. And then for my final finalist, the page from what do I get up to, September, October, and the page from November, December. So September, October was Cinderella here. Sorry, I'm trying to keep that on screen while I fiddle around with books. And from November, December, it was my Gnomes double page spread from Kirby. Yeah, again, as much as I love this one, the very clear winner has got to be Kirby, simply because of the intimidation factor of this page when I first started it. And yeah, just the fact it's another Kirby double page spread. And I just, yeah, love the way it turned out. So my top 3 pages for 2025 then. I've got 2 Kirby pages and 1 Eerie page. So Kirby's Gnomes page from Mythomorphia, Kirby's Waterfall bookshelf page from Worlds Within Worlds, and my Vain Crow page from Eerie's World of Literature. Such a fun page. If I had to choose these in order, I would say this would probably be number 3. Then it gets really tricky. It really does. 2 very different pages. It would be pretty close, but I think just because this is a single page and this is a double page, I would have to put this in second place. And my winner for the year would have to be the Gnomes double page spread. So yeah, just a little bit of fun there at the end, but I thought it was a fun thing to do. My colouring page playoffs. So there we go. The winner for this year, for 2025, is my Gnomes double page spread from Mythomorphia by Kirby Roseanne's. And that is it. That was quite a long video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that one. It was, like I say, just a little bit of fun, a flip through my coloured pages for the year. I may have missed a couple out there. I think I probably did, but that's the majority of the pages. And yeah, those were my favourites. Let me know in the comments down below which were your favourites. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy New Year. And I hope that 2026 brings you lots of beautiful colouring moments. Take care, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me. Bye.